Well, we are live on GodFidence. I'm gonna turn my phone on mute. What's up, you guys? Welcome to GodFidence. It is almost the end of the year, and what you looking for, babe?
I'm good.
You good?
I'm good.
So
I just can't wait till the Royal Kellys come on.
And it is 6 o'clock. I think we were just like right on point. So I'm gonna stop my little ticker here. And we're going to get to going, see who's out there. Got people that are going to be joining. If you guys are joining, go ahead and put us some hearts, some loves, some likes, and we're going to get our podcast kind of going this evening.
Yeah.
So it's been a busy day.
And thank the Kellys in advance because the people that's listening and tuning in tonight
is
going to be absolutely blessed.
They are. Yeah. And so why don't we go ahead and get started? Hey, everybody. It is almost pre-New Year's.
Right. This is the last GodFidence of the year.
It is the last GodFidence of the year. You want to talk about anything before we get started?
No.
You had a good birthday.
Yeah.
It was your birthday.
Yeah. Should I tell them what I got for my birthday?
No. Should you tell?
All right.
You don't tell him. No, he had a good birthday, you guys. Look. Fuller had a good birthday. He had a good Christmas. We had a good Christmas. And so, when you got a birthday person that's birthday is on the same day, sharing it with our Lord, Savior Jesus Christ, he think that he gets a little bit more than the Father God. No, he don't.
No, I'm used to getting one gift.
Yeah,
so you spoiled me. You spoiled me.
What's the gift, Fuller?
Well, I had, let's see, so much. My birthday morning, I walked out the house and I see a 2025 Mini Cooper Countryman. And I was about to get mad because I'm saying, who parking in my driveway? And I didn't even see the ribbon on it because I'm like, and then I found out it was my birthday. And I've been enjoying it ever since.
He got somebody who love him, you guys. But look, I would be remiss because our guests tonight are part of business that I'm a part of.
Yes.
And so they can attest to, good things happen.
The
benefits of being in Legal Shield. My baby got brand new 2025.
So you're saying if anyone out there is unemployed or looking for some gainful employment, they should consider being a part of Legal Shield, be associate.
Yeah, that's how I pay for your car.
I tell you what, it's blessed me. So I'm testifying.
I'm going to testify.
Y'all use me as a testimonial person.
Yeah.
Shout out, Cadillac.
So, brand new, not used or anything. That's
Shooter, Baca. Okay. Praise the Lord.
Okay. Thank you. That's great. So Fuller got a brand new car. He got some other things as well. And tomorrow, New Year's Day, we're going to Chick-fil-A Bowl.
To Chick-fil-A Bowl.
That's another one of his gifts.
Yeah.
Thank you, Legal Shield. I sure appreciate you guys.
By the way, we're going to be in the suite and eat all you want to, drink all you want to. So, hey, it's going to be fun.
Amen.
That's why we're not driving.
Look, that's why the Kellys were talking about last week, living life in Spain for their anniversary.
Right.
Come on.
That's leadership.
Yes, come on. So look, we got to get started. It is our part 2 of the Kellys and Do Opposites Really Attract. And they were so good, you guys. We got to bring them back this week again. Great evening to everybody that's joining. So I'm going to pop in our guest. And you guys can take yourselves off of mute. I see Miss Kelly is already off of mute. What's going on, our people?
What's happening, family?
A new Mini Coupe, huh? Ooh,
yeah. Man.
Can I join the family?
So what?
He got mad about it.
Who's parking in my driveway? He couldn't even see the ribbon for the Who's in my driveway?
I'm trying to figure out who parked in my driveway, man.
I was like, Fuller, stop being special.
It sounded exactly like what I would have done, Fuller. I'd have been like, babe, somebody is out here.
Right.
We're right past the boat.
We rushing out to go to church. We rushing out to go to church. So, that's the last thing on my mind. I'm trying to get on and get to church.
Yeah, but James and Kennetha can attest the goodness of having that extra stream of income. And I'm grateful that they get to share not only, just about being married and do opposites attract and the business side of being in their own business and but also being a part of a great opportunity where they get to grow together. But I will say last week, the Kellys, we left off on talking about relationships and your relationship as it relates to what the cycles of going up and down, and what all did you say that they were leaving off with from last week?
I would like them to pick up from when she went off to college and came back, and they found out that they had mutual feelings toward one another, and continue from there.
Okay, or wherever you guys would like to go. Inquiring minds want to know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Like to talk anyway. So go ahead.
Hey, babe, how you doing?
Hey, babe.
Right.
Thank you. Am I cute?
Okay, hold on.
Oh, you looking cute. You ain't got to keep on there. You looking cute.
Yes, you are. With no makeup. That's how Kennetha do it. No makeup on, just wing the cute hair. Yeah. Look, come on.
But not blowing smoke. But this is one of the handsomest couples
I've
known. Like they just go together. You know, and they both are well dressed. They are articulate. They, you know, this. They got it going on.
Look, but we want to talk about now. Yeah, y'all have it going on, just like people look at men fully and say we got it going on. But there's some behind the scenes stuff that they don't know that go on.
So they're looking at the polished part. They ain't looking at the unfinished part. They look at the polished part.
So let's go, James Kelly, because I know got some.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's definitely. They, you know, again, the beauty of where we are today. You know, again, it is a culmination of a bunch of different stuff that we've gone through in relationships. And I know you all put this GodFidence together to let people know what it's like, you know, to go through the challenges, but also to be able to enjoy what's on the other side of those challenges. And I think Kennetha and I are a great representation of what that looks like. We talked about some of that on last week's show, and we're just honored to be back on GodFidence tonight. And I think this is a perfect representation of who we are, right? We were sitting shoulder to shoulder last week on the show, and now we're dividing and conquering, right? I'm in my office and Kennetha's in her mobile office as she is the healthcare advocate and, you know, advocate extraordinaire for our family. And like you were talking about, you know, with the opportunity that we're a part of, you know, I remember times where we were locked in, standing knee deep in hair, and we couldn't get away from our traditional businesses. And, you know, to have the flexibility and the freedom for her to do what it is that she's passionate about doing. She's at the hospital right now with her sister, making sure that she's squared away. And I'm, you know, just grateful for the heart that she has for people and not just being concerned about herself. And that's one of the reasons why I love her. So, you know, definitely I want to turn it over to you. I'll let you get started, babe, on, you know, the reconnection and how things were as we were looking to get back together, because you kind of fell in love with me all over again after the separation. Ain't that right? Tell the people.
I will tell the people because I fell in love with you all over again because, well, let me go back to where we kind of left off, because we were talking about I had came home from college just for a quick hairstyle, ended up giving you a kiss for your sweet 16th birthday because you were bugging me. And it kind of, you know, turned into something way more than I ever thought it would be. Last week, I mentioned how mature you were at your age, like more mature, more thought-provoking, highly intelligent, just a gentleman. And that's how my dad had raised me. So it was different when you were being treated the way you knew you were supposed to be treated as a young lady. And I had already had a few examples of how I didn't want to be treated. So for James to come through and kind of sweep me off my feet, when we got together that first time, it was beautiful for us. Wasn't so beautiful for our families. You know, we mentioned that last week as well, because I was older than he was, or I'm older than he is. And, you know, at the time, our parents just wasn't feeling it. And it didn't really matter. We knew that we were meant to be together. I knew that that's who God had said was supposed to be my husband. So even though we had kind of, you know, went our separate ways once we had gotten pregnant, doing things out of wedlock we weren't supposed to be doing till we was married. But I'm actually glad it kind of went that way, because we were able to self-discover. I figured out who I was trying to be as a young woman. He was growing and maturing as a young man, figuring out who he was supposed to be. So when we did get back together, like he mentioned last week, okay, if you're wanting a husband, why are you trying to be the husband? And so I learned some things, because I was considered the all the guy friends, ninja. Oh, that's my ninja right there. That's my girl. That's my dog. That's my, so I was the guy. And it's difficult as the firstborn, the first grandkid, the oldest, the alpha female, all those things, to find that soft feminine side of yourself. And that's one thing James has always been able to do. He will always redirect me, stir me in the right direction. And not just me, he does that with most women. And so, really just trying to say, hey, babe, that's not something you need to be worried about. That's my job. Let's get you redirected in your job, your way. And so when we actually kind of went our separate ways that first time, I was horrible. I was horrible as a person. And I didn't really care. I just kind of wanted it my way, and I was a bugaboo. I was a little stinky. I was tough. I don't know. It was all the things, and it wasn't complimentary. It wasn't attractive, is the word I'm trying to say. I wasn't very attractive. So I can see now why he left then and why I left then too, because technically speaking, what he needed wasn't who I was at the time. And what he wasn't who I needed at the time either. I needed a sterner, in your face, no, this is how we gonna do it. And that wasn't the guy. So I went from, he was like, he grew up. I ain't being pushed over no more. And I remember when he got married to his first wife, because I am the current wife, but I wasn't the first wife. And when he got married, I knew at the time that I needed him to be married. And I know y'all, this great sound real dumb, but it was perfect. I needed him to be married because I needed him to be with one woman in a situation. Then I already knew that marriage probably wasn't going to last because I knew what God had told me. But so at the end of the day, I was grateful and thankful, because I don't think we'd be where we are today had James Kelly then, or Shim, y'all know his nickname then, because he was wild. He was cute. He had the reputation of pulling an older woman. So, by the time we broke up, he was a hot commodity for everybody, Darlene. Every show at the church wanted him. And so, so had he not gotten married,
the sisters on the motherboard.
The sisters on the motherboard wanted them. All of them, all the Sunday school teachers. And I was like, stay focused. Okay. But if married and things would have, right, sorry, my mom had gone awry, I think he would have had one too many additional relationships for me, and I probably never would have been able to come back from that in my mental capacity, in my immaturity of what relationships were supposed to be like. So when we got back together, I wasn't trying to be with him. I don't think he was trying to be with me. But what I was trying to do was to share with him that I was a different woman. I was ready to raise our child that we had together. And, it just so happens that he had 2 more kids and I had another child by the time we reconnected and reunited. And I had to relearn him. I said last week that, his favorite color wasn't brown anymore. And so it was literally like redating, and it was a beautiful scene. The trips that we went on together, the ability for me to be able to connect with his mother again, our mom, to be able to reconnect with her and let her know, Mom, it's not your responsibility to take care of your grandkids. You know what I'm saying? That's my son and those are his siblings. So guess what? Those are my kids too. And so, you don't have to, you can go and do something else that you might want to do. And I think that might have been some of the things that, made me attractive to him again, because I wasn't just raising our son together. If y'all don't know, how many children y'all got? Where Renell at? Together.
Hold on, Kennetha. Hold on.
Right.
You just skipped some stuff.
Right.
I skipped some stuff.
Mr. Kelly, would you go back and fill in, please?
Yeah.
Talk about.
If you've ever watched Martin, you got the two stories of how it all connected, right? But she spoke to a lot of the story, but it was a lot that happened in between there. And I think, as we're talking about helping people, is that sometimes spaces and places that you're at in your life where you feel like the person that you really want to be with, the person that you're supposed to be with, isn't compatible for you during that season, doesn't mean that just because it's delayed, that is denied. And that, I think that's one of the biggest things to draw out, is because we both went away in a season of our life where we weren't compatible for one another in that season. And we had to go and learn compatibility for who we've been and become 20 years later now with other relationships that weren't sustainable, right? Like we were both with people that really weren't our people, but they helped us to develop and have an appreciation for the person that was our person through those other relationships that didn't end up panning out the way that we desired for them to be. And at the same time, we were co-parenting. And neither one of us were doing a phenomenal job at co-parenting. Number one, because it ain't what it was designed to be, right? You know, having children before wedlock puts you in a position where you now got a parent part-time. And it's a difficult thing to do, no matter how good your desires are for what you want to accomplish. And so we had challenges, right? We had friction because it was me seeing it one way and her seeing it another way. And, it caused us to have routine friction, like, again, to the point where it was physical. The only time I've ever been to jail was on the back of us not saying
Wait. Did you say some jail?
Yeah, it was a short period of time, but I did. Your boy did go.
Somebody knew about Legal Shield laws before Legal Shield came along.
So, again, when you got a child in the middle of a situation, and Jordan, our oldest, is the child that we had together. Many people, because of the blended nature of our family, if you look at us today, you really have no idea that I have an ex-wife. She has, an ex that she had a child by, and all of us, we're blended and blessed, but it wasn't all that way all the way throughout the process. And so coming back together, moving to the point that she was talking about, we went through all of those things, and we got to a place where we were still working in one of our first loves in hair, barbering, and then styling. So we had one building. She had a shop and I had a shop in the same building. And so it allowed us to be able to co-parent our children or our child in one place. And one of the things that, as we started looking at each other again, because we got to the point, literally, guys, this is crazy. Like, we got to the point where we hated each other.
Yeah.
It's what, like in the meantime, right? It's what my uncle, my former.
Oh, don't forget, we were all at the same church together.
Right.
Hating each other. I hated him, he hated me, and our families hated each other, and we were still all on the same praise team and choir.
One life to live, edge of night.
You're hearing it all. But and our mentor in Legal Shield tells us, right, to never tell a story without making a point, and never make a point without telling the story. So the reason why we're telling this story is because oftentimes people feel like that just because they're having challenges or conflict where they don't see eye to eye, that a relationship can't make it through that.
Right.
And Kennetha and I are examples of having all of that, but then still having the recipe that God had ordained for us to have a life together long term. And I didn't see it, and she didn't see it for a while, right? Many people around us didn't see it. There were a faithful few that said, I always knew it, right? And they were always advocates, like, y'all gonna be together. But we were in business together and in the barbershop line. And after having two children by two different women, Kennetha came back into my life as a person who said, you know what? When you're working long hours in the shop, I ain't just gonna pick up our son, Jordan. I'm gonna pick up all the kids, right? I'm gonna go home and bathe them, feed them, make sure that they got their schoolwork done. And this is who she is, right? And so, gentlemen out there, if I'm talking to a guy's like, how do I find the person who I'm supposed to be with, right? Is that person starts to fill in the gaps in spaces that you might be able to do it for yourself, but they willingly and wantonly want to do the things necessary to simplify the life that you have. Because you can still be at 100% doing it all, but you got somebody else that says, you know what? Let me take some of that off your plate, not because I'm trying to get to you, but just because that's what I do by nature.
Right.
And that's who Kennetha Kelly is, right? That she's the mother of any place that she goes into. She gonna walk in, and that's what she gonna, that's what she's gonna do. And she showed herself to me being the person that would be willing to do that. And I said, again, this is the fit, and the other stuff we can start to make work. And before I knew it, we were dating again. And it was crazy because Legal Shield actually came into our lives because we were figuring this thing out. And even though we had two businesses in one building, when Legal Shield came along, it gave us the ability to have one project. And here's what I want you to know, that sometimes God will send you struggle to help you to see the big picture. I'm gonna say it one more time just so you can hear it, right? Sometimes God will send you struggle so you can see the big picture. And one of our businesses was struggling in the season that Legal Shield was introduced to us. And we actually went from having the money to needing the money. And when Legal Shield was introduced, it gave us one project to work on collectively that would give us the ability to start spending time together in a way that we hadn't done it before, because we had two people working on one project. That's what Legal Shield was for us, right? And so much so that in our first year, we had a training that was, how you have the fast start trainings? We have these promotions, right? Where it was single parents. And so we came up with this idea, like, if we're going to have single parent, season, let's do a training where we invite everybody to be able to bring their kids. We'll have one room where the kids can be being taken care of and things of that nature, and the single parents can get trained. So we came up with a proposal to actually propose at the single parent training. So Kennetha was up front. She was talking, and we had her brother at the back door, who's a singer, world-class singer. You got to hear him. And so the children started walking in with a sign, because I'm up there talking to her, letting her know how much she means to me in front of everybody. You know how we do edification, but it was getting a little, you want to share with them how it happened? Go ahead, right.
It was getting mushy. And I'm looking at him like, you are not supposed to be saying all that. We are at a professional setting, and we got to train people, because that's what we do right now. And then I'm seeing my brother start singing the song. What is it? With you in my corner, and with you by my side, and God in my corner. Or I know I'm maybe mixing that title up, but he gets every wedding song. Thank you. What is it, babe?
God in my corner, you by my side.
God in my corner, you by my side. My brother starts singing it, and I'm like, why does that voice sound familiar? What is going on? Why is he in here singing? Sorry, this heat warmer just got a little too hot. And and so I'm trying to figure it out. And then my daughter comes up, and I'm like, what in the? Get back in the other room, because my kids can't be in here if I'm telling all the other parents their kids can't be in here. So now I'm freaking out, because my need to be in control self is not in control of this situation. My other daughter comes in, my sons come in, and the sign is, will you marry? And I literally cannot figure out what's going on and why these kids are not listening to me tell them get out as I'm talking through my teeth. And then I'm looking at him like, will you help me get these kids out of here? And when I turn around, he's down on one knee with the us sign. Will you marry us? And it finally hit me with a ring. He's proposing, Dumbo. The whole crowd knew what was going on by then, and I still haven't figured it out. And then I did the Oprah ugly cry with the fan in my eyes, and it was the most beautiful thing. And like, we literally, I know he said it vaguely, but Legal Shield brought us together, having that one commonality of something to be purposed in together, and a vision that we could paint for our future, for our children. We all bought in. Literally every one of them bought in. And so it was a beautiful thing to see. And we kind of been kicking it as the Kellys ever since. Oh, remember, babe, when I wanted to be Kennetha Davis still? I was okay with marrying him, but I still wanted to have my same last name. Woo-wee!
I have a question. How many years passed from the breakup until the night of the proposal, because God allowed situation to come in your life and call it bumpers. Because what he did was called to get bumpers, bump you this way, bump him that way, until he bumped y'all together. So how many years had passed by y'all doing y'all individual thing?
It was
That's a
five.
good question.
It was about 5 in between there.
Yeah, because Jordan's 29 and we've been married 20 years.
Wow.
So, yep.
Yeah.
It was about 5 years.
Wow. So I got a question and then a follow-up question that's going to lead us to part 3.
Yeah, most definitely.
Y'all okay
Most
with a part
definitely.
3? Are you okay with a part 3?
I'm okay with part 3.
Because we want to talk about, I really want to talk about the reconciliation.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about the joy of going through the fire, through the rain, through the storms, through hell, and come out on the other side.
Yeah.
That's what I want to talk about.
And I want to talk about inquiring. The ladies want to know there's 2 things. So listen to this, James and Kennetha. What do you Kennetha was just talking about, and you were talking about, James, just having been with other people, coming back together, and now Kennetha being who she is, which is loving and caring for the kids. How the relationship between the other people and Kennetha worked out, because that's an ongoing relationship, right?
Yeah.
And the second part of that, it's all of what Fuller talked about too, and we're not going to get to it tonight, but I would like for you guys to maybe just answer that just at a high level, because that's a whole therapy session in itself. And then I'm going to ask you part 2 of my question. How does that work then, going into blended families? And then I'm going to ask my second question, and then we're going to come back into our part 3 with all the things that Fuller wants us to talk about.
Okay. I'll jump in there and start. One thing that I tried to do was to make sure that none of the children felt as though anyone was favored over another person. I know we as moms, we try to say, oh, none of my kids are my favorites, and those types of things. So I wanted my stepchildren to feel as at home as my birth children, if I can say it that way, because now there is no step. Like I don't even ever say step, just to give the distinction there. So it was very imperative, even though we had so much friction, so much family drama. James and I came together and was like, this is what we're gonna do. This is what's gonna work for us. It's not the Davis, my maiden name. It's not the way his family does it, but this is going to be how the Kellys do it. And so when we realized, or when we made that decision, then it began to change the equilibrium in all the relationships. I mean, I did a lot of, how do I say it? Butt kissing, because that was out of my character. But I didn't want to be the person that was bringing the drama. So if there was going to be a situation that didn't get along, then it wasn't going to be because it was my fault, because I wanted to prove to him that I was different, that, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't bringing the drama that I would normally bring, that I was about that life, and you go, not this time. We're creating a different life. So that's my quick, easy answer there from my blend. And I don't want to say but that way. I don't want to put it that way, but I was compromising on a level to where I was okay with what the compromise was.
Yeah.
I'll throw it to you, James Kelly.
Yeah. Mr. Kelly, you have something you want to add to that?
Yeah. Blending is not easy. If you ever took anything like it, if you try to mix a cake, right, and you blend it, it's violent in order to get anything smooth out of it. You understand what I'm saying? And so if you can stay away from blending, you want to. That's what we told our kids. Like, Jordan's 29, our youngest is 24. None of them have children yet. And some of that is, I'm not having children until I'm absolutely sure. And no matter how good it turns out to be, right, the churning that goes along on the inside of it when it's happening is going to affect you. And no matter how, it's amazing, because today, what, even as good as I thought we may have done when we now talk to adult children. They can give you nuances to all the things that you thought you were doing well, to how it affected them in a way that wasn't exactly how you intended it.
Right.
Even though you were doing your best. And so, but the blending was the most important thing, Kennetha drew out, was that we focus on the children first. And people say, well, just use your common sense. But if you got 4 families involved, common sense is only what is common to the people where they learn their sense. And so just because they have what's called common sense doesn't mean that it's equal across all boards. And so when we came into the relationship, most importantly, we're married now with all these different responsibilities. We had to say, hey, we got to do it our way, because if we bring the baggage from each and every one of our families and their past, it's only going to cause us to have a friction internally that is now being controlled by those who don't even live with us. You understand what I'm saying? And so we decided, like, even some of our family, we had to let them know, like, hey, look, we ain't coming to every holiday. We can't accept certain gifts because they come along with certain responsibilities. So, and if you can't get it for everybody, we don't want it for nobody, right? And those kind of things may seem foreign to other people. It's like, why would you do that? Is the child is losing out? But we were trying to create this balance within our own household to give our children the best upbringing, as well as give us as much peace as we possibly could have while we were bringing these lives together. And, no matter how challenging that was what kept us going through the process, no matter how bad things got. And the last thing I'll say is, we got to the place where when we were in these situations, and this may be helpful to someone else, that we had a schedule, right? We had to create a schedule where our children could have some regularity, and we could have something that we didn't have to discuss with those other counterparts on a regular basis. It was just locked in, and it was odd because we had them Monday, Tuesday. I mean, we had them Monday, Tuesday, and then they had them Wednesday, Thursday, and then it was every other weekend, right? So our kids at least knew that this is how life was going to be. And at the end of it, they was like, we hated picking up our bags and moving our life every week. I would have much rather just stayed the summer or something of that nature, but we thought we were doing it well. You understand what I'm saying? But just having a system, because the only way things can work is if it's systemic. And that's what we try to build within the Kelly Castle in order to make sure that those Kelly kids felt like they were queens and kings on a regular basis.
Kelly Castle? You getting these sayings from?
The Royal Kellys.
Kelly, King, Queen, Kelly.
I would just want to say this to the audience. If you're thinking about bailing out your marriage, if you think the grass is green on the other side, the grass is green on the other side, but it's artificial turf. So it don't change. So if you're having a hard time in your marriage, it's a difficult moment, and you're in a season where nothing seems to be right. She can't do nothing right. You can't do nothing right. And there's friction. First of all, we know it's the devil, because he don't want covenant. He don't want that relationship, because the blossom like God intended to be. So he gonna do everything he can to keep it from working. So if you're in a relationship now, married or considering, marriage is a great thing. It is the best thing since apple pie. But you have to make it work. There's something called marriage maintenance. You might not need a transmission or motor. You just need the oil change and need a spark plug. So find that spark plug. Find that place in your marriage that draws y'all together the first time, and glean from that.
Look here. You know, one thing I know about one, that was a good word, but that doggone James Kelly, he is coachable as all get out.
Right.
The very first thing James Kelly do, grab a pen.
That's
all right. Come on, James Kelly.
He is green on the side. That's what he wrote down.
Marriage maintenance. That was good. That was good, Pastor. That was good.
But look, I know that we've taken up 2 weeks of your time. But I really know that what you guys are sharing, I mean, you got years of lot of movement, right? That a lot of people don't get a chance to experience in the one relationship, right? And maybe they are experiencing it. And so we would hope that you would come back again next week. Would you guys please? For part 3, because I want you to finish talking about that blended family, because y'all know it so well. I've watched you guys over the years just through the eyes of Kennetha and your godchild and the kids and the blended family, but what you're sharing with people that are going through blended family. I'm a part of a blended family where I took ownership of my late husband's kids and the love, just same thing Kennetha shared. I had to do the same thing. I put down pride and I did it for the kids and for peace. But the other thing that I really want you guys to get to, which was my second part of not a question, but a thought, is talk about how do you deal with in a relationship with a person, one of you guys being controlling. Fuller won't even look at me, see y'all, because he is thinking that I'm talking about myself indirectly, but I was talking about Kennetha is one of those people, perhaps. James could be one of those people. I'm definitely, I think, in my own way, but I think it tends to happen and nobody really talks about it.
Well, James, let me tell you, I have a whip and a chair. So it's on call. I got it on call. So every time I need it, I can pull it out.
Just pull it out.
We want to talk about the controlling and how
that's
you
in
deal
marriage
with,
maintenance. Now look.
And that's in the marriage maintenance book. And so, but we want to talk about it, right? And so, look, you guys, it is 6:36. We want to wish you everybody, because we won't be back until next week, until 2025. Right. So happy early New Year,
New Year's,
everyone. And so,
Happy New Year.
Yes. Y'all want to leave us with anything? Anything?
Actually, I would. So it was New Year's that we actually dedicated ourselves to one another. So this is our 33rd anniversary New Year's together. Happy New Year, boo.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
That is so special.
Yeah, for sure.
Y'all are full of surprises.
Well, there's creative power in you, and there's a miracle in your mouth. And 2025 is going to be on what you talk about, what you say. Be careful what you say, because you're going to get it. So it's a miracle in your mouth. The creative power of God is operating in you. So this is going to be a great year. You're a magnet for all things good. Everything you put your hand, your heart, and your mind to do, God is going to absolutely bless it. Supernatural intervention. I see it happening right now. It's beginning to happen, take place there. In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name, I receive it.
I receive it.
Yeah.
I receive it.
Woo!
Yes.
Hold on,
you guys.
Come on. Come on, Fuller.
So happy New Year, everybody. Y'all come
Happy
on
New
back
Year.
before Kennetha tear up her car over there. Y'all take care. Y'all have a great New Year. And we will see you on Monday in January 2025. Thank you, Kellys. This is Kicking It with the Kellys. Part 2 going on part 3 next week. See you guys.
Fantabulous Fullers. We love y'all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all